Let's actually have a look at what I purchased here.
Whoa!
I would not recommend you flip this. Now that we measured everything, before we fit the kit, I want to talk to you about what I've got. I purchased a MBD 4x4 performance lift kit. It's 1.5 inches and it cost me 580 Australian dollars. Now, there was one main reason why I purchased the kit, and not just because of affordability, which it was quite affordable compared to ECS, which I think is almost 1,000 Australian dollars. The other thing is that you don't have to compress your springs. If I take a look at the front strut spacer, you can actually put your strut bolt through the bottom, tighten it, this through the top. You don't have to compress it, fit any extra adjustment bits like you do on ECS tuning part. As you can see, there's a couple of locking areas where the manufacturer would have put this on, welded it on. Yeah, it's not bad and it will give you the lift that you need. So this is a front spacer and you don't have to compress the springs. So I'm really excited for that. Now as we move to the rear, this is your rear shock spacer.
I would recommend skip to 3 minutes 44 if you want to see how I actually adjust this. Long story short, I didn't use the shock spacer in the end.
Now last but not least, I'm running air suspension. You've got your locking areas of where the manufacturer put it in. You've got a hex bolt in the middle. Now the way it looks like this works is that the air spring locks into the top here, locks in, and then you've got a bolt here that goes into the lower control arm, and then you bolt it in like that. So that in a nutshell is the whole lift kit. The kit also comes with all your nuts, bolts and washers that you need to assemble this. But there we have it. That's what we're going to be fitting. Start with the front first and let's see how we're going to fit these bad boys. I go to sleep because I'm exhausted. So part 2 will be coming up now. So you might be wondering why I'm here and not in my burning garage after fitting the front shocks. Well, it's because the rear shocks ended up being a lot more of a challenge than originally envisioned. To fit the rear lift kit, what you need to do is to jack up your vehicle and air down your airbags. Now to do that, the official BMW guide says use a computer, do complicated stuff, and then suddenly it deflates. Wrong. You gotta undo 10 million bolts, which is really 8 mil, 10 mil, and a Phillips head. Get onto your bottom driver side cover, if you're a right-hand drive market. Undo an airline, which is also needing a 10 mil. Now you've got 2 colors, blue and red. Air will come out. Be careful because the fitting actually goes into plastic, so don't round it out too much. That's the best way I found to actually regularly deflate the rear airbags. Now, once you have deflated the rear airbags, as you can see here, you can actually pull them up, fit the lift kit, put it in and secure it. Now, this is where the whole journey kind of unraveled. The stock kit that I purchased had the bolt down to put a nut up. Now, as you can see here on first ever test drive I did, that actually caused damage onto the CVs. Now, the owner of the business has actually reached out since and updated his lift kit, whereby you actually put the bolt from beneath up. You can see that in an image here. So that avoids your CV hitting the bolt that is under the rear spring seat. To help limit the full droop within the constraints of the lift kit, did one of two things. One, I kept my rear sway bar link. I've actually deleted it on my other all-wheel drive build. Is up, one was down. It kind of arrests them a little bit, so you're not going to have that full drop instantly when you're off-roading. Second thing I did was delete this. So the kit comes with a shock spacer. I got rid of the shock spacer. The issue with the shock spacer is that it actually brings what was the original travel up here a bit lower, and it means that at full droop, you'll contact your CV the same way. So to help arrest contact when I'm off-roading, I deleted this, run the original shock, original mount, but all I did in the rear was put the spring spacer. That's it. Don't run, in my opinion, the shock spacer if you want to do serious off-roading. Just run the spring spacer. Now, that is how you lift the rear. That's how I lifted the rear. Myself and Keith from Territory Off-Road, his link to the channel below, did. We went up to Mount Mee, which is a fairly nice, fairly scenic, but very great all-wheel drive area. And so we put his all-wheel drive Territory, mind you, heavily modified, and this to the test. So let's get stuck into it. Heading onto the blacktop. This is the first track we went down. What we're going to do is get Keith's big, obviously very capable rig, down these tracks first and see if the Beamer could do it. He was already scraping at his lower bash plate, therefore I'm not even going to attempt this track, so let's see how it goes. Let's go. I did scrape a little bit as we're going across there, but that was a diamond hard run. Now, because I don't have a temperature gauge on this car, I've got the heater running to draw as much heat as I can until I fit the external gearbox cooler. What you will notice in these comparisons, on the X5, I am never going more than 900 to 1000 RPMs at any stage of this climb. It goes to show how effective that all-wheel drive system is. I will also point out that Keith had been having a bit of issues with his ABS system, which is why you will see a lot more wall spin than you normally would on his rig. Bear in mind, this is the same territory that went down the main Gunshot and Palm Creek lines in Cape York. So I'm taking the chicken shack because I'm not here to do that. But we're still here, right? Who cares if it's a chicken shack? I'm in a bloody Beamer here. I'm amazing I've even made it this far. It looked pretty spectacular. Bit of like calamity. The old winch chain blowing through winch. Also, this is getting a bit fun. Okay, rain's starting. Rain is starting. Please. In we go. Oh. So we skipped the bog hole, and as soon as it rained, we just made a beeline straight for the summit. I knew that was going to happen.
Once again, the capability of the X-Drive system continued to stun us, especially now that the track was wet. We finally reached the Somerset lookout, and I have to say it was absolutely specky. Check this out.
I think it will hit first before we bind that up. Now, we have a few solutions on how we're going to resolve it, because we're not here for problems, we're here for solutions. So one solution that we have been exploring is getting rid of the whole spring seat. You can actually see here, all it is the spring seat. Get rid of it. Then where the shock mount is to the lower control arm, you fit effectively a coilover. So you fit a coilover shock, but either way, this I think is a better way to probably lift the rear. Get rid of the spring seat, use a coilover shock, therefore you have the full range of motion. Therefore it would bind before it does any damage to your CV. So that's how you lift the BMW E70 X5. Let's get stuck into it. Done.